Okay, what's good, everybody? Austin here, or Luna. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far, wonderful night, whatever time of day it is when you're watching this. I hope it's a good one. So, today's story time, judging by the title, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Strap in. It's a good one. So, today's story time, it all starts off as a regular day back in 2017. Now, in 2017, I traveled a lot, okay? I moved out to LA. And I was going back and forth a lot from New York to LA because my hometown is in New York. That's where all my family is. And LA was where like all of my, YouTube stuff was, all my YouTube friends and my apartment and my setup and stuff like that. So I went back and forth a lot to visit family and friends and then go back to LA and, do my YouTuber thing. And in between that, I travel a lot as well to like events and stuff. For example, back in the day, I went to VidCon and MLG Anaheim and a couple other like events, and some of you guys actually met me there. So if you met me there, hello again. Yeah, I traveled a lot in 2017 and a little bit of 2018 as well. And because of that, I used Uber a lot. I still use Uber a lot, but in 2017, 2018, I used it a ton, pretty much, every single day, multiple times a day. And let me tell you, that shit got expensive, but that's not the point of today's video. The point is, because I used Uber so much, I met a lot of interesting Uber drivers, right? A lot of them. Some of them were really, really cool. Some of them were really, really not cool. And today's story is about a not so cool one. So this story time all starts off as a regular day in 2017. I was actually traveling for an event. I was actually in Atlanta for some event. I can't even remember what it was called. It might have been like an MLG event or something. But I was in Atlanta and I had just gotten there, right? I remember I landed, plane touchdown on the runway. Got off the plane not too long after, grabbed my luggage from baggage claim, and I went to like the pickup area where like the Ubers and the taxis and stuff, and people would pick their friends up or family. And yeah, I went to this area to get picked up, and I called an Uber, right? And upon getting the Uber, I get in. The guy's name, for the sake of the story, we'll call him George, okay? I get in the Uber, and George was like, "Are you Austin?" I was like, "Yep, that's me." He's like, "All right, cool. Are we heading to this address?" And he says it. It was the address of my hotel. I was like, "Yeah, man, that's it." He goes, "All right, strap in." So I put my seatbelt on and we start moving, right? Now, shortly after we start moving, I throw my headphones on because, usually in Ubers, I would just listen to some music, kill the time by listening to music, look out the window and just kind of chill, right? Well, about 2 minutes into putting my headphones on, all of a sudden, I look to my left towards the driver, George, and I can see him like in the mirror, looking at me in the mirror. You know when people do that when they're driving, they like look up in their rear view and you can kind of like see them looking in you through the mirror. He was looking at me and he was doing like this motion with his hand to take my headphones off. So I took them off and I was like, "What's up, man?" He goes, "Yeah, in my Ubers, I don't let people wear headphones." I thought he was joking. I literally laughed. He goes, "It's not a joke." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Why don't you let people wear headphones? I'm just curious." And he goes, "Because one time I was in an accident and the guy in the back seat could have warned me that the car was coming, but he didn't because he had his headphones on, so I got crashed into. So now I don't let people wear headphones so we both can be alert of our surroundings." So this Uber driver doesn't let people wear headphones in his Uber because he got mad that he got into an accident and the guy in the back seat wasn't aware of it, I guess. So he wanted me to be like his second set of eyes and warn him if anything was coming. And I think that's kind of silly. I can't lie. I'm not saying it's a bad idea to have people looking out for you, but like it seems silly to not let your passengers wear headphones in the back and just chill and make them like be really alert of the road when that's your job as the driver. Like you're the driver, man. You should be alert of what's going on around you. You should be alert of your surroundings. Obviously, if I saw something, I'd tell him, but like to not let me wear my headphones is crazy. But you know what? I just got to Atlanta. I was in a good mood. I was not about to let this guy's silly rule ruin my day or my trip, right? So I gave in. Like there was definitely a part of me that wanted to argue and be like, "Hell nah, man. Like I'm keeping my headphones on. That's a stupid ass rule." But I didn't do that. I thought, you know what? This guy, he's got some way he wants to do things, whatever. I'm just going to listen and just, the ride will be over soon anyway. Who cares, right? It's only like a 15-minute ride. So I took my headphones off and I just looked out the window in silence because that's what he wanted me to do, right? Now, I can't lie. About 10 minutes into the ride, almost over. At this point, I'm pretty, like, antsy. I'm pretty bored. I'm pretty, like, just get me out of this fucking car kind of vibe, right? And we're only 5 minutes from my hotel, so I'm just, like, counting the minutes, right? And finally, we pull up to the hotel. He pulls up to, like, the front entrance. I get out. He helps me grab my luggage out of the back. And as I'm about to leave and say goodbye, he like puts his hand on my shoulder and he like looks me in my eyes and he goes, "Can you please leave a 5-star review?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I got you." He turns around and he walks away, gets back in his car, leaves, right? And I can't lie. When anyone asks me to give them 5 stars, the last thing I want to do is give that person 5 stars. But I'm not a scumbag, okay? I'm not going to jump on the app and rate him 1 star for that, all right? I'm not going to do that. And even though I was pissed he didn't let me wear my headphones and he like asked for a good review, I didn't like give him a 1-star review over that. Here's what actually happened. I turned around, I went in the hotel, and I forgot to review him. I went to my room. I got so preoccupied with like showering and fucking getting ready after, traveling all day and stuff. I was just so preoccupied with like unwinding and like, cleaning up that I kind of forgot to go on the app and review the dude. I'm not going to lie. I do that all the time. I just forget to review the drivers. I hope that doesn't hurt their career in any way. I forget, right? And I remember like after I got done showering, I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot to do that. But I kind of thought it was too late at that point. It probably wasn't. I probably could have opened the app and still reviewed him, but I just forgot, right? Well, anyway, about an hour later, I start getting pretty hungry, right? And I was just kind of like, in the mood to get some food, and none of my friends were around yet to get food with me. So I went down to the lobby to check out the food they had there at this hotel, and it all looked like absolute dog water. So I was like, okay, let me go Uber somewhere or take a Lyft and go find some local like Atlanta restaurant and get some food there. Because I heard in Atlanta, a lot of the chicken wings are fire. So I was like, I'm going to try some chicken wings. So I ended up finding a local chicken wing spot like down the street from my hotel, and it ended up being so close. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to walk. So I end up walking there, right? And I eat these chicken wings. They were gas. No complaints there. People were right. The chicken wings in Atlanta are fucking fire. And after that, I thought, okay, time to go back to the hotel. Now I was so full and so just in big back mode that I was like, all right, I'm going to fucking take an Uber back to the hotel. I'm not walking. So I remember I opened the app, I like skipped the first screen it gave me, and I called an Uber, right? And all of a sudden, the driver pops up, and you'll never fucking guess who the driver was. I got the same exact driver as I did from the airport to my hotel. That same fucking guy, the guy that asked me for 5 stars, the guy that didn't let me wear my fucking headphones in the car, same dude. I got him again. And I was like, what are the chances of that? Because like in my city where I live now, it's a kind of small city. So like it happens a lot getting the same driver twice in a day here. But in Atlanta, like, dude, that's a fucking big city. Like the odds of getting the same driver like back to back, crazy. So I didn't think much of it. I thought, okay, short ride, no big deal, right? So he pulls up not long after I call the ride, literally within like 5 minutes. And I open the door and I go, hey man, long time no see. And he looks at me like I'm fucking insane. Low key, his eyes looked like he feared me. And he goes, is your name Austin? And I was like, yeah. He goes, okay, hop in. And I get in and he's still looking at me like in fear. He's like turned around looking at me. And I was like, it's me, like Austin, you don't remember me from earlier? You literally took me to my hotel, the same spot we're going right now. And he goes, did I? And I was like, yeah, man. He goes, oh, sorry. I was like, all good. He goes, all right, well, put your seatbelt on. Let's get going. So I put my seatbelt on and we start going. And I noticed something. He drives right by my hotel. Remember what I said earlier? This place was like down the street. We were there in like literally a minute, but he drives right by my hotel. And I look at him kind of confused and he's looking at me in the mirror and he's like, what? And I was like, you just missed the turn to the hotel. It's right back there. If you want, just do a quick U-turn, drop me off. It's right there. He goes, oh yeah, hold on. I'm just making a quick stop. Now, this was not a part of the deal, okay? I didn't add a stop on my ride. I know you can do that on Uber, but I did not do that on this ride. So I told him that. I was like, oh, I didn't make any stops. He goes, no, it's not for you. It's for me. Now, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do that. If you're an Uber driver and you got a passenger in your car paying for a ride, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to make detours and go do whatever the fuck you want and run errands. So I nicely told him that. I was like, hey man, like no offense, I know what you got to do, but like I'm pretty sure you're supposed to like do this after you drop me off, and like I really just want to get back to the hotel. I'm really tired. I don't feel that good. I'm like pretty exhausted. He goes, no, I know, it's all good. We'll be back there really quick. I just need to make a quick stop. And I'm like, I don't really want to make a quick stop. Can you just drop me off here? I'll call another Uber. He goes, no, we're in the middle of the road right now. I can't drop you off here. Keep in mind, we were literally pulling up to a red light. He could unlock the doors and let me out. And when we were at the red light, I actually tried to like open the door and it was locked, like completely locked. So like I felt like I was in a fucking horror movie at this point, bro. I'm stuck in this guy's car. I can't get out. He's not unlocking the door. And he's going on some mystery mission with me in the back seat. So at the red light, I look at him and I was like, hey man, can you please just unlock the door? Like we're stopped now. Please unlock the door. I'm going to get out, go through the crosswalk, call another Uber. He goes, no, like you're already in an Uber and it's dangerous. I'm not letting you out in the middle of the street right here. That's not safe. I'm not going to put my passengers at risk. And I was like, sir, no offense, but you are putting me at risk right now by taking me on some detour I'm not paying for. Like, my hotel was all the way back there. You didn't drop me off. And now you're putting me at risk by keeping me in the car, driving me around when I don't want to be driven around. I don't feel safe. Let me out. He goes, why don't you feel safe? I was like, because I don't know who you are. I'm not paying for some stop. Just let me out here. He goes, no. And I start getting kind of mad. I'm like, dude, what the fuck do you mean no? How are you going to refuse that? He goes, because it's not safe. I'm like, all right, man, either let me out or I'm canceling the ride. And he turns around, gives me like a death stare. And he goes, you don't want to do that. And I was like, are you threatening me right now? He goes, you just threatened me. I was like, yeah, you're not letting me out of your car, man. I'm scared. He's like, there's nothing to be scared of. Just hang tight and we'll be back at the hotel in no time. I'm not going to lie, dude. At this point, I just fully accepted my death. I was like, yeah, he's going to kill me. This guy's going to drive me out in the middle of a field. He's going to pull over. He's going to open the door, drag me out the car, and just kill me. He's going to murder me. And I actually thought that. I'm not kidding. I genuinely thought I was about to die. Like, I was scared. He would not open the door. He was holding me there against my will. I was tweaked. Well, he ends up driving up the street while I'm having a panic attack, basically, in the back seat. And he pulls into some, like, dollar store. It's like some random dollar store, some, like, Dollar General or something. He pulls in, puts the car in park, turns around, looks at me, and he goes, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm like, okay. He gets out of the car, closes the door. I check to see if my back door's still locked. It is. So I jump in the front. I click the unlock all doors button. It unlocks. I jump out that bitch. I open the car door. I jump out, and I start walking away. And as I'm walking out of the parking lot, free and relieved that I'm out of the car of whatever the fuck that was, I hear behind me the sound of like the doors opening to the dollar store, the sliding doors. And I hear this guy yell, where are you going, Austin? I turn around. I was like, hey, man, I'm leaving. I'm just going to walk to my destination. I'm just going to go. He goes, well, hold on. And he grabs his phone out of the car, runs up to me, and shows me him ending the ride on Uber. And he goes, make sure you rate 5 stars. And guys, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I looked this guy dead in the face, and I was like, sir, you are not getting any stars for that ride. If you're getting a star, it's 1. And I'm telling Uber what you did. I requested nicely many times to be let out of your car, and you refused, and you took me on some random errand that I did not want to go on, and quite frankly, made me really uncomfortable. So no, I'm not giving you 5 stars. That was not a 5-star ride. That was not 5-star service. That was below 1-star service. He goes, are you telling me you're going to give me fucking 1 star? And I was like, yeah, and I'm reporting you to Uber. Because, bro, he fucking broke the rules. Like, you can't do that. You can't be like, hey, hold on, man. You're going to come with me on some errands, man. I'm bored and I'm lonely. I'm going to take you on my errands with me. That's basically what he fucking did without saying that. Honestly, if he was just nice to me and was like, hey, man, I want to run some errands and I'm lonely. Can you come with me? I'd probably be like, sure, dude, I'm bored. None of my friends are around. I'll come with you. But no, he fucking just locked all the doors and was like, we'll be there soon. So fuck that guy. I told him how I felt, and I told him I was going to report him to Uber. And honestly, I was fucking gonna. Fuck that guy. But after I said this, he starts tweaking out. He immediately throws his phone on the ground, full speed, and shatters the screen. Like, not cracked it. I mean, like, literally pieces of glass flew all over the parking lot. That shit was broken. He gets in my face and then stances up. He goes, come on, pussy. What are you fucking waiting for? Put your fucking hands up. We're fighting. We're fucking fighting. And I was like, dude, I'm not fighting you. He goes, yes, the fuck you are. Now put your hands up. And I was like, no. He goes, if you're not going to pull your phone out right now and give me a 5-star review, I'm fucking punching you. And I was like, bet, man, make your whole situation way worse. Because right now, if I report you for what you just did, you might lose your job. But if you punch a passenger, you're definitely losing your job. So be my fucking guest. I'll be calling you an Uber to fucking jail. And surprisingly, he didn't swing. Now, some employee or manager or something at the dollar store heard all this commotion out front, and she comes out and she walks up to both of us. And she's like, what are you guys doing? What's going on out here? Why are you guys screaming? And I was like, oh, I'll tell you. This guy's an Uber driver, and he just like held me against my will in his car and took me on some like random stop here. And when I jumped out to leave, I told him I wasn't gonna give him a fucking 5-star review, and he's tweaking out now trying to fight me. And this lady looks at this guy, this Uber driver, and she goes, George, stop causing problems. Let this young man go, and you get in your car and you go. Guys, come on, really? How immature are we? She called him George. She knew his name. So I looked at her, and I was like, you know this guy? She goes, yeah, he's a regular. I'm like, oh, he's a regular. And she goes, it's just George. He sometimes acts a little erratic. Don't take it personal, honey. Just, you get out of here. You keep walking. Don't worry. I'll make sure he doesn't hit you. And I was like, good. And I turn around and I start walking away. And as I'm walking away, this guy starts picking his phone up and slamming it over and over and over again in the parking lot, screaming at me as I'm walking away, "Rate me fucking 5 stars, rate me 5 stars. And I'm like, okay, that guy is not mentally well. He's got something going on that I don't know about. And honestly, I'm not even going to ask questions. I'm just going to keep moving. That guy's definitely having some like mental health problems. I'm just going to keep moving, right? So I keep going and he's just screaming at me. The farther and farther I get, the louder he screams. He's screaming about rating him 5 stars. He's screaming about how if I rate 1 star, he's going to come find me at the hotel. At one point, he yelled in the distance, "I know what hotel you're staying at," and then said the name. And I was like, yeah, hell no. So I immediately jumped on my phone and I contacted Uber support. And I was like, yo, this guy, you got to get him off your app. You got to get him off your app. I made a whole like report, right? And they just gave me the classic, like, "Don't worry, sir. We'll look into it. Don't worry. We'll take proper action." I don't know what they did to the guy. I hope he got fucking fired, man. I really do. But anyway, story time doesn't completely end there. So I end up walking back to my hotel, right? And while I walked back, I contacted Uber support. I was going through all that. And I get back, lay in my room for a little bit. I called up one of my friends, told him about what happened. He thought the whole situation was fucking hilarious. He was just laughing at my pain. I was like, yeah, thanks, dude. And then later that night, he came over because I had plans to meet up with him that night anyway. So I meet up with him at my hotel, right? He Ubers over. And we're just chilling there, like in my room, trying to figure out what to do because the event wasn't until like the next day. So like we're just chilling there. And he's like, yo, do you want to just go like walk around this one main area? Like there's this one main strip that has like a bunch of bars and stuff. It's really cool at night. You want to go there? I'm like, bet. He goes, all right, cool. I'll call an Uber. And he calls the Uber and he laughs. He goes, "This isn't the guy you were talking about earlier, right?" And he shows me the driver he got. And I was like, dude, cancel it. He goes, what? I'm like, cancel it. Cancel it right now. That's him. That's fucking George. He's fucking going to kidnap us. Cancel it. He goes, okay, don't have to tell me twice. And he canceled it. Yeah, dude, we got him 3 fucking times, man. Fucking 2 in a row with me and then 3rd with my friend's phone. 3 fucking times in a day. I don't even know what the odds of that happening are. Like, this guy must have just sat in the same area after he dropped me off the whole fucking day and night. Because, like, literally, what are the chances of that happening? I got him 2 times in a row on my phone and then a 3rd time on my friend's phone. I'm so happy my friend showed me the phone, by the way. Imagine if he got George and then didn't say anything and, like, we just went to the lobby and I see George pull up and I have to see him again. Like, that would have been great. That would have been just a great time. And by great, I mean fucking miserable. So, yeah. Anyway, he canceled the ride, my friend. We waited like 5 minutes, and then we called another Uber. This time it wasn't George. And, we got in that car, and we went to the bar strip thing, like the street that all the bars on it, and we just explored. We explored for quite a while. A couple hours later, another friend of ours met up with us, and we went back to his house, and we all just hung out that night, just chilled, watched a movie. And I had a pretty good rest of my night. I can't lie. The rest of that night was very good. Now, as for George, I'm sure all of you are curious. Like, what happened to him, man? You must have had an update or something. Nah, man. I didn't hear shit. I don't know what happened to him. I really hope that he got the proper help he needed because I think he genuinely had, like, mental health problems. I also really hope he's not driving Uber anymore if he still has those problems because, dude, the man was literally ready to throw hands with me and punch me in the face over a 1-star review. I'm not trying to deal with that. Yeah, dude, from like 2017 to like 2018, I had a lot of Uber driver interactions, and this one's got to be like top 1 or top 2. Like, I have another story that I'm holding on to that's also about an Uber driver. That one might beat this one, but like, definitely one of the craziest moments when it comes to taking an Uber I've ever had in my entire life. And to this day, there's just so many things about it I can't wrap my head around. Like, why wouldn't he just let me out at the red light? Like, why not? Why not just drop me off at the hotel like I originally made the ride for and then go run your errand? Like, why would he take me with him against my will to a dollar store? And then he didn't even ask me to come in the store with him. He said, wait here, don't go anywhere or some shit. Like, what is that? I don't know, man. Every time I think about this story, I'm just like, why? There's just so many more questions than answers. So yeah, pretty confusing, pretty interesting stuff. So that leads me to the final part of this video / story. Moral of this story is, don't be like George, man. If you're an Uber driver or a Lyft driver or any kind of taxi driver and you're watching my videos, I think you can clearly, tell that what George did was not good. And if you can't tell that that's not a good thing to do, don't be one of those drivers. Just don't be a driver for a service. But yeah, man, just don't do what George did. Don't drive past your passengers' destinations and then be like, just gotta do a quick detour. Just gonna take a quick detour. And if you try and leave, if you try and go anywhere, you're dead. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, maybe he didn't say that exactly, but it felt like that. Yeah, don't be like that driver. But yeah, guys, that is the story. That is the story of how a driver wouldn't let me out of his car, skipped my destination, took me on a random errand, and then tried to fight me when I told him I was going to give him a 1-star and report him. So pretty interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I definitely enjoyed telling it. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.